Unlike a season ago, the Braves' plans don't include packed bags with nowhere to go. The current leaders for the wild card are doing all they can to avoid a repeat finish like last September. Just 10 games remain while the Phillies continue to fight their uphill battle. And they collide a final time with the Braves, with the strangest part of the 2012 home season taking the mounds. It's down to 10. That's right. The regular season has 10 games remaining, including this finale against the Atlanta Braves. The Phillies try to erase the thoughts of yesterday's setback and try to start anew today with Cliff Lee on the mound. The Phillies begin play today, 4 games behind the Cardinals for the final wild card spot. Meanwhile, the Braves, their magic number to clinch a playoff spot is down to 3 after yesterday's victory. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy along with Chris Wheeler. The Phils are back at it today, and they'll send Cliff Lee to the mound, and Ryan Howard will be back in the middle of this lineup. In fact, it's the exact lineup that Charlie Manuel sent out yesterday and the day before against these Braves.
Yeah, and he's swinging really well right now as Ryan Howard. Tom hitting a lot of home runs. Hit his 300th career home run, a long one to center field. Hit a breaking ball off Minor yesterday, and that thing thudded off the bricks in dead center field. No doubt about it for Ryan Howard, and he has gotten to that point faster than any player in Major League history, with the exception of the great Ralph Kiner, who spent so many years with the Pittsburgh Pirates and, of course, in the broadcast booth with the New York Mets. And there's the list of guys right there. The fastest to 300, Juan Gonzalez coming up, and then A-Rod and the great killer, Harmon Killebrew. So congratulations to Ryan Howard for number 300 and the speed he got there.
And speed of the RBIs has really picked up for Ryan Howard. Just imagine where he would be if he played an entire season. That's what the Phils are hoping for next year. Now, Cliff Lee goes to the mound today. Lee has been very good. In fact, he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball since the 1st of August.
Well, the last 5 starts, he has a 1.02 earned run average. This guy has been looking like Cliff Lee, the strangest season imaginable. But the game that he pitched here 2 starts ago against Miami, indicative of where Lee is at this point. He can throw the ball where he wants to. It sounds easy about location, but it's hard to do it. And he has all his pitches going, and he almost always is able to throw them where he wants to. He's staying out of the middle of the plate, and as a result, he has not gotten hurt the way he did in earlier games. Look what he did in this ballpark last year. Just amazing to be under 2. His earned run average a lot higher this year. But as we said, when you go back over this Phillies season and examine what happened to Cliff Lee in so many starts this year, it is probably one of the more bizarre seasons that a really good pitcher could have ever had.
Well, we've said this often here in the month of September. The Phillies need a win, and they need Cliff Lee to step it up this afternoon against the Atlanta Braves. It's the final game of this 3-game series, the final time the Phillies will face the Braves this year. Tim Hudson on one side in his 27th start, Cliff Lee in his 28th start, getting set for the Phillies. Well, a great giveaway today, thanks to the folks at Total. It's the Cole Hamels action figurine. Fans are certainly enjoying that. When we return, the lineups and first pitch to the series finale. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Smooth Busch beer and easy drink in Busch Light. By Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank. We're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're creating a more coordinated healthcare system that is built around you. Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. The season series, the last day of this series before the Washington Nationals come to town. A sold-out crowd settling in, getting ready for today's festivities. Here's the starting lineup for the Braves. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Reed Johnson. Martin Prado, the third baseman, bats second. Jason Hayward hits third, followed by Freddie Freeman and Dan Ugla. Jeff Baker's in left field. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh is David Ross. Andrelton Simmons is back in the lineup. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is right-hander Tim Hudson. And they'll face Phillies lefty Cliff Lee. On the year, 6-7, an earned run average of 3.27. But he has had a resurgence since the All-Star break for the Phillies, and it's been much needed. Yeah, great run time. Last 5 starts, 4-0 with a 1.02 earned run average. 28 walks, as you see there, and only 4 walks in his last 72 innings pitched. There are his career numbers against the Braves. 1-0 this year. A real good job a couple weeks ago down in Atlanta on a hot Saturday afternoon when he bested Tim Hudson. Oh, the Phillies are trying to bounce back after yesterday's difficult loss to the Braves, which has pushed them back to 4 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals for the final playoff spot with 10 games to go. The Braves, meanwhile, have a magic number of 3 to clinch a playoff spot. Time for our Nissan Keys to the game. It is a beautiful afternoon here at Citizens Bank Park, a real fall type of day where you have 2 pitchers. They work fast. They want hitters to make contact. And the Phillies want to delay the Braves clinching party because they're going to get there eventually. Reed Johnson will lead it off. He's playing center field today for Michael Bourne, who injured his thumb sliding into second base yesterday. Bourne's thumb was swollen today and sore, so they decided to give him the day off. And the first pitch to Johnson is in there for a strike, so we're underway. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. Johnson overall a .296 hitter with 3 home runs and 20 runs batted in. He's been very good against left-handers. In fact, he's a pretty good bat off the bench against left-handed pitching. He bunts it foul toward the on-deck circle. Well, he's one of those real dirtball players. He'll do anything he can to beat you. He just looked at you, get the pants hitched up and all that. He's always been really gritty. Saw him for a long time with Toronto. You'd see him in spring training a lot. Then with the Cubs. And now over here, he's a nice guy for them to have on a team to go into postseason play. 0 for 2 so far in the series, and the 0-2 pitch. In the air to center field, not deep. It's going to drop, and it's a base hit. So a bloop single with the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And the Braves have the leadoff batter aboard here at the top of the first. Sometimes Lee will throw too many strikes, although he got in on him on that and jammed him. It was a good pitch. Martin Prado is now the batter. Prado so far is 4 for 7 with a couple walks in this series. And lifetime 4 for 22 against Cliff Lee. As a hit machine, he just hits the ball all over the place. As Tom mentioned, he'll walk also, and he'll play a lot of different positions. Yeah, today he's playing third. The last 2 days he played shortstop. And when the postseason gets here for the Braves, he'll be out in left field. That's all. It's not very versatile. He can play second real well, too. You need him over there. 0-1 the count to Prado. Opposite way, it's no balls and 2 strikes. Boy, he's so good as a 2-hole hitter, especially with a guy like Michael Bourne who's on base so much and as a base stealer. He'll take pitches, but he'll also shoot the ball in the hole. He gets ahead in the count, he'll pull. He gets behind in the count like now, and he'll shoot it the other way. Freddie Gonzalez in his second year as the manager of the Braves. 0-2 the count to Prado. Swing and a miss. That's a heck of a changeup right there by Cliff Lee. 1 away here in the first. Got all his pitches working lately. Tom says a changeup right there. You see it dives down out of the zone. Jason Hayward's now the batter. Hayward 273 overall with 27 home runs and 79 runs batted in. He had 4 RBIs in yesterday's ball game with 3-run double and then an RBI single later on. And he made it really difficult. Yes, it was bad enough 3-0 early, but then 6-0 in the second inning against a team with as good a bullpen as the Braves. You figured it was going to be a tough day. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's amazing how far he's off the plate. There's Roy Halladay, who had a tough day yesterday. A lot of talk about him today and some of the things he said and whether he's right. And well, we'll just see if he makes his next start. They have TBA right now.
It could be a 4-6-3 double play, although that's going to be a tough one for Rollins to turn. 4-6 on the putout.
Yeah, Chase didn't give a good flip there.
Yeah, there are 2 outs here in the first.
Utley's pretty good with that backhanded flip. Sometimes the second baseman will pivot and throw it hard over there, especially if you have a fast runner. Haywood runs well, but watch what happens here. He gives that little flip, and he pulls Jimmy way off the bag, and you're not going to get the double play then. That's why Utley kind of hung his head after he did it, because he knows they should be out of this inning.
Oh, instead, Freddie Freeman is the batter. Freeman 21 home runs, 91 runs batted in. Cliff Lee has struck about 5 times so far. Freddie Freeman's 1 for 8 in the series. He had a 3-run home run yesterday against Doc in the first inning. On an 0-2 pitch. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Talk about a strike thrower. How about Cliff Lee here in this first inning, just pumping 1 strike after another. Now here's where during the season he got hurt a lot with 2 strikes on him because he gets the ball in the middle of the plate too much. And hitters are very anxious right now, so this is where you throw a non-strike and you can get them out.
Threw a cutter on the outside part of the plate. 1-2. Here's Freddie Freeman's home run yesterday.
Well, that was a bullet. 0-2 pitch, clanked off the Budweiser sign. That got out in a hurry, didn't it?
It did.
Sure looked like it. That looked like a swing bang.
There was no chance for it to hook foul at all.
He hit it too hard, didn't he?
Roy said yesterday after the ball game, he said, I thought I'd be able to compete better than I did. Honestly, I just didn't do my job as a pitcher. I just didn't do my job, and I put my team in a tough spot. Curve ball hit to the right side. It'll sneak into right field, a base hit. Hayward's on his way to third. The Braves have first and third with 2 outs. I don't know if Ryan Howard thought that was going to be catchable for Chase Utley. I'm surprised he didn't leave his feet. Maybe it got past him too quickly.
I don't know. I don't think it was hit that hard. That was the thing. He really fooled Freeman, and he dove out and hooked it. But he didn't hit it hard. See, he comes off the bag, and that ball is not a hard hit ball. It just doesn't get to it. Utley's not. You don't really play Freeman to pull, especially against a left-hander, so Utley's going to be playing him more up the middle. He can't get to that.
Dan Uggla's now the hitter. Uggla 216 overall on a swing and a miss and a changeup. It's 0-1.
So here's an inning. A lot of crazy stuff has gone on for Lee. They should be out of this inning twice, really, with 2 plays in the infield, especially the one that should have been the double play.
Good cutter, and it's 0-2.
Again.
Yeah, so far, this is a 15-pitch inning for Lee. 13 strikes.
Now, Uggla is definitely a guy. Here's a first inning run. Same thing with Hudson. Uggla is definitely a guy. Don't throw him a strike with 2 strikes.
Now the 0-2. On the side, 1-2. Hayward on third, Freeman on first. A little low, and it's 2-2. Despite his struggles offensively this year, Uggla has shown an ability to take a free pass. He has 90 walks on the year and well over 100 strikeouts.
160.
That's well over.
Yeah.
Now the 2-2. Outside. 3-2 the count. There's Jeff Baker, who's getting the start today in left field. He's in the on-deck circle.
Well, he has a base opener. He doesn't have to give in to him.
Swing and a miss. He got him. He fights back after allowing 2 runners to reach the corners. He gets Ugla on strikes to end the first. We come back, we'll be with the bottom of the first. Phils, let's take a look at their starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Batting second is Juan Pierre. Chase Utley's over at second base. He'll hit third. And then Ryan Howard is the cleanup batter. Carlos Ruiz does the catching. Dominic Brown is in right field. He'll bat sixth. John Mayberry Jr. is in center field hitting seventh. Kevin Franzen will bat eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Cliff Lee. And they'll face veteran right-hander Tim Hudson, 37 years old. He has 196 wins and 103 losses. And he's lifetime 9-9 against the Phillies. He has faced the Phils an awful lot in his career.
He's another guy like Lee. He's a contact pitcher for the most part. See the hits per innings pitch, a ground ball sinker guy. He'll cut his fastball a little bit. He tries to make hitters hit non-strikes and get themselves out.
27th start for Hudson against the Phillies, and the first pitch to Jimmy Rollins. Rollins hits it in the air to shallow left field. Long run for Baker. And Simmons peels off, and Baker makes the catch. During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Graham Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs.
Well, you beat Tim Hudson like a lot of sinker ball pitchers is trying to make him miss down and then bring the ball up, because he doesn't throw real hard anymore, but he has great movement down with his pitches.
Juan Pierre has faced him 35 times in his career. He's 10 for 35 against him. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Pierre.
That's what you're trying to do right there, and it's not always possible, but try and make him miss with sinkers and then elevate it a little bit.
1-1 the count.
You look up in a Tim Hudson game, 5th inning, 6th inning, and it's your scorecard, and it's almost all ground ball outs when he's on.
Juan Pierre got the start yesterday against the left-hander Mike Minor. Charlie Manuel has really appreciated the way Pierre has played, not only during this month of September, but over the last couple of months. He's essentially played himself into being in there almost every day, thanks to a .435 average in the month of September. Ground ball to first, and there are 2 outs. With 2 outs, Chase Utley's the hitter. Utley has a home run against Hudson and 7 runs batted in. He has 13 hits against him. Utley is 1 for 7 so far in the series. Phillies only had a few hits in yesterday's game. They didn't have a whole lot going against Mike Minor and the rest of the Braves bullpen. In fact, they had a triple from Kevin Franzen, a home run from Ryan Howard. That was just against Minor. And then they had only one hit against Chad Durbin. It was a single by Carlos Ruiz. And that was it. Off the end of the bat, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, that point you're making there, Tom, is one of the reasons people think these guys could be so dangerous in postseason this year, because of the way they shorten the game. Their bullpen is outstanding. When you get around the 7th and certainly into the 8th inning with them and they have the lead, they don't cough it up very often.
Two and 1 the count to Utley, trying to get at Hudson, which a lot of teams have in the first inning. The Phillies are one of those teams. Hudson's allowed 22 first inning runs.
Yeah, we had that stat up about Lee too. A lot of really good starting pitchers over the years will give up first inning runs, and if you don't get them then it can be very tough.
Utley pulls it foul. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Grace Forlano of Voorhees. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Grace, you'll win $100.
A bit chilly here today. You see him blowing on his hand. Beautiful afternoon. Shadows are going to come quick today.
Ground ball foul. Sam Perlazzo let it go by. Conditions today as the winds are blowing in, 67 degrees and sunny. On wheels, the second day of fall.
Second day, and it knew. No doubt about it. Good day to pitch because the wind's blowing so much that you hit the ball left center in the air, it'll get knocked down.
Liner to center field. Johnson on the run, and he's there. The wind knocked it down, and it settled comfortably into Reed Johnson's glove for the final out. No runs. Nobody left. Ryan Howard will lead it off for the second in this scoreless game. Every remaining Phillies out of market game live online and on your favorite devices at HD quality. Visit Phillies.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Top of the second, Jeff Baker leads it off. Baker, a .253 hitter, swings at the first pitch. Rollins from deep in the hole. Boy, did he fire a strike. Look at all the speed on that toss from Rollins for the first out. So 1 away. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away.
All right, T-Mac, brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And guys, it is that time of the year. Champagne corks were popping yesterday afternoon in Cincinnati when the Reds got the 6-0 win over the LA Dodgers. They became the first team to clinch a division title this year as they clinched the Central Division. And then just a couple hours later in San Francisco, the scene was a similar one as the Giants clinched their second Western Division title with a win over the San Diego Padres. So now the next team with the smallest magic number would be in the National League as well. That's the Nationals at 6, guys.
Yeah, the Nationals are playing the Brewers as we speak. That game's scoreless in the bottom of the first. Magic numbers are being whittled down all over the place as David Ross takes outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Braves have a magic number of 3 to clinch a postseason berth.
Yeah, the Giants, you know, when the Giants and the Dodgers were thinking about trades at the deadline, I mean, on paper it seemed like the Dodgers had made, well, more of an impact than the Giants. Giants picked up Marco Scutaro and Hunter Pence, and the Dodgers picked up Hanley Ramirez, Adrian Gonzalez, Shane Victorino, Josh Beckett, Nick Punto. I just threw that in there just because he was part of the deal.
He was part of the deal.
David Ross hits one in the air to center field. The wind will keep this, I think. Let's see where Mayberry goes. And no, it's over his head and over the wall. And it's 1-0 Atlanta. Well, he must have hit that a lot harder than Chase Utley did. It's the 8th home run of the year for Ross, and he did crush it.
Yeah, that's a brick shot normally in this ballpark on a normal day. Yesterday, that thing would have been like a Ryan Howard home run. But he just absolutely killed that thing. There it goes, and it's way up in the air too. You think, well, the wind's going to affect it. Mayberry thought he had a shot at it 2 or 3 times, and then he never really got to the wall. I don't know if he got to the wall, whether he could have jumped up and caught it. It looked like it was over by quite a bit.
Yeah, it did look like it was over by a good amount. Well, 1-0 Braves here in the top of the second. The 23rd home run allowed by Lee, the 21st to a right-handed batter. And it's 1-1 to Andrelton Simmons. First home run since the end of August for Ross, who has not had a good month of September offensively. Ground ball to shortstop again. Rollins backhands. Throws low this time. Dug out by Howard. 2 outs. And that'll bring Tim Hudson to the plate.
Tim Hudson's a good athlete. He can help himself with a bat too, and has throughout his career.
His average is at .220 this year. He's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Fly ball, shallow right field. Utley doesn't see it. Brown, though, is there. And the inning is over. But the Braves strike first. A solo home run by David Ross onto the bottom of the second. The Braves 1 and the Phillies 0. 17. All the big stories, all in 30 minutes, all by the region's best news team. Action News at 10, now on PHL 17, tonight and every night at 10. David Ross's home run has given the Braves a 1-0 lead as we move to the bottom of the second. 23 home runs allowed by Cliff Lee, the third most he's allowed in a season in his career. He allowed 30 and 29 in 2 different years with the Cleveland Indians. Ryan Howard will lead it off. Howard has been on a power surge lately.
Yeah, and this is a guy on the mound that he's had some power surges against before. That's what he's done the last 4 games. As Tom mentioned, he's been on this power surge. And he's hit Hudson over the years. Hit three off him in a game one time in this ballpark. Here's the home run yesterday. Off Minor, breaking ball away, and there it goes off the bricks.
That's our Cold Hard Blast, brought to you by Frost Brews, Coors Light. So Howard leads it off, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Ryan, 14 home runs, 55 runs batted in. I'm telling you, if he was here a full year, he'd be leading the league in RBIs. At least you would think so if you spread those numbers across the full season. Outside, 2-1. Howard has homered in 4 consecutive games. And Ryan did that in 2006, did it in 2007. And according to the Phillies media guide, he's never homered in 5 consecutive games.
We talked about the wind, the way it's going to knock it down in some areas. You pull the ball today and you're a left-handed hitter, you'll get some help because of the way it's going towards the right field corner.
2-2 the count to Howard. He fouls it away. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, get a quick update from New York, where the A's are on top of the Yankees 3-0. Cliff Pennington has hit a home run, a solo shot. That was a wild game yesterday.
Crazy ending.
The A's were up 9-5 in the 13th. Scored 4 runs in that 13th inning. The Yankees tied it in their half of the 13th and then won it in the 14th as Howard goes down looking on strikes. Raul Ibanez hit 2 more home runs for the Yankees. One was a pitch hit home run, and the other one occurred in the 13th. One away. Here's Carlos Ruiz. Carlos, a .330 hitter with 15 home runs, 62 runs batted in. Outside, 2-0. The Braves have realigned their rotation after this game with the Phillies. And they've done that to put Hudson and Chris Medlin both in position to pitch the first game of the postseason. Simmons will throw out Ruiz. Freddie Gonzalez said yesterday that they haven't decided who's going to pitch that first game. It seems like it'll be Chris Medlin, but he's given himself at least some wiggle room by making sure that Hudson and Medlin are both in line and rested to start that first game.
Yeah, probably the only way it wouldn't be Medlin if somehow he starts to struggle near the end and shows some problems in the way that he's been pitching, because he's been so good. If all of a sudden he falters a little bit, well, they'll have Hudson ready, and they'll certainly be comfortable in sending a guy like Tim Hudson out there.
Hudson said yesterday that Medlin is ready for that kind of pressure.
Well, you know Hudson is.
0-1 the count to Dominic Brown.
It'd be hard not to use Medlin, though, the way he's just dominating this league.
Brown off the end of the bat, a flare to left field. It's going to hang up there, though, for Jeff Baker. And another 1-2-3 inning for Tim Hudson. Phillies go down in order. Back-to-back games, innings, excuse me. Back-to-back innings. It's 6 up, 6 down. We go to the third here at Philadelphia. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, here's the question. Chipper Jones holds the all-time record for career RBI by a third baseman with 1,622. Who is second? You have to think about that one, aren't you? Answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Top of the 3rd, Reed Johnson will lead it off for the Braves. Johnson, Prado, and Hayward against Cliffley, who in the last 28 days, which is 4 starts, has a 3-0 record and a 0.95 earned run average. He's been that good. So far, he's allowed a run on 3 hits. Back toward the middle, and it's going to trickle into center field. And Johnson is 2 for 2.
Well, he's had a couple bleeders. That one, he broke his bat. First time up, he got jammed, but to his credit, he puts it in play and put it in play. Good things can happen.
Budweiser, through the Walk-Off a Hero program, will donate $5,000 to Folds of Honor for every Phillies walk-off win. Please join Budweiser and the Phillies in honoring those who keep our nation safe and free. Lee got Prado on strikes in the 1st. And it's 0-1.
He came in like that on him early in the count and then struck him out on a changeup.
There's a curveball. First one of the day, I think. It's 0-2.
That's kind of what Prado's thinking, right? Why me? I'm looking cutter. All right. I know he's going to come in here. He's going to sink it away. He's going to throw and change it. Then he throws that thing.
0-2 to Prado. Grounder foul toward the Braves dugout. Off the end of the bat. That's going to be a tough play. Out in no man's land, and Dominic Brown can't come up with it. Mayberry picks it up, but the throw to second is too late. They're going to score that a base hit. And it puts first and second for the Braves with Jason Hayward coming up.
Yeah, this is another ball right off the end of the bat. With 2 strikes on him, the ball's going to blow out that way a little bit. Dominic Brown comes on hard, hits his glove, and he doesn't catch it.
Now Hayward's up with nobody out. A tough spot for Lee. Think about the 2 hits that he's given up in this inning. The broken bat hit by Johnson. As Wheels just said, the little flare by Prado that should have been caught. Now it's 0-1 to Jason Hayward, who did ground one to Utley his last time up. They would take that again here.
Yeah, they had a shot at a double play in the first inning, didn't make it.
0-1 the count to Hayward. A little low, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Hayward, when he first came up, stood on the plate, and he got jammed a lot. In fact, Jamie Moyer was jamming him one night in a game in Atlanta. He drifted off a little bit, but since then, it's dramatic how much he's off the plate. You look at it there from the side.
Off the plate, and it's a roller to the right side. How about this inning? Man, oh man.
Gosh.
I think he would have gotten Hayward, but it would have been really close.
Yeah, Hayward can run, and he was busting it out there. The ball's spinning like crazy. We talk all the time how pitchers, they're taught a lot of times to smother it. Does he smother it there? Tried to, and then just dropped it. You see, it looks like he does what they teach you to do is smother it, and he has it, and he probably would have had it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they scored an error. It's an E1, and the bases are now loaded. And I think that is good scoring because he would have zipped the throw to first, and he would have gotten Hayward by a step or two.
I think Lee would agree with that. That was an error because he had controlled it well. He'd taken the spin off it and had the ball ready to pick it up and throw it, and he just dropped it.
Phillies will play the infield at double play depth with Freeman up and nobody out.
But that's a guy running really hard like Freeman did out of the box. He put pressure on him to pick it up quickly and throw it.
So now the bases are loaded for Freeman. And he takes low. It's 1-0. Ground ball foul. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and he got it with a cutter up. 3rd strikeout for Cliff Lee.
Well, just the way he's done this whole game, he's getting ahead of everybody. He got ahead of him and made him chase. Pitches out of the zone, did not have to throw a strike there and didn't, and got Freeman out.
Well, they'll set up for 2 again with Ugla coming up. Ugla struck out his first time up. See the runners, they take their lead. And Ugla takes a strike. It's 0-1. Dan Ugla and Chase Utley both are on the verge of getting into the top 10 in home runs hit by a second baseman in Major League history. The all-time leader is Jeff Kent. Second on that list is Ryan Sandberg. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Three and 1 the count. I think Cliff may have wanted that pitch, that cutter. It looks like it was a tad high. Fly ball left center field. On the run is Pierre. So is Mayberry. Mayberry's there. He makes the catch. The throw goes to second, and Hayward is going to slide in safely as a run scores. And it's 2-0 Atlanta.
Ooh, that's a grand slam. A lot of days in this ballpark. Not today, because pointed that out early that the wind is going to knock it down to left and left center. And Ugla's hit enough in this park to know that he had one out. And 4 RBIs with it. He knows he's going to get a strike. Got it down off the bat, a little bit off the barrel, but still, that's going to be a home run here. Right there. See, it's down on the bat just a little bit, and with that wind blowing in, it kept it in the yard.
Jeff Baker takes a strike. It's 0-1.
If he'd have barreled that one, he might have gotten it.
One and 1 the count. Votto on third, Hayward on second. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Jeff Baker. Over to second base. Utley is there. Step to his right. So Lee is able to work out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam. He allowed 1 run. We go to the home third. It's 2-0. Braves on top. For great deals, only a Honda is a Honda. By Anheuser-Busch, Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. And by Nissan, save big at Nissan's Bottom Line Sales Event. Ends October 1st. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local Nissan dealer. Well, we go to the bottom of the third. The Phillies trying to find the little offense against the Braves at Tim Hudson. They managed 3 hits yesterday. They haven't picked up a hit yet as we start the bottom of the third, but it's early. John Mayberry, Kevin Franzen, Cliff Lee due up against Hudson. Mayberry 255 with 14 home runs and 46 runs batted in. He takes low. It's 1-0.
Phillies caught Hudson on an off day last time in Atlanta where he just did not pitch very well. He was up with a lot of stuff, fell behind in the count, and they got him that day. Early in this game, he's down really well with his pitches.
Phillies have handled Hudson fairly well this entire year. In fact, he's had one really good start against them. Overall, 2-1 with a 5.32 ERA.
And 9-9 lifetime, 26 starts.
He has not been particularly sharp here in September, but today, so far, he's been on the money with what he's trying to throw.
That pitch was up a little bit there, but for the most part, his sinker's working pretty well.
And Mayberry has the first hit of the day. A line drive to left field. That's John's first hit of this series. A leadoff single. Oh, this Tuesday, the Washington Nationals will start the final homestand of the regular season. It has gone by so quickly. Get your tickets now for all 3 games, including Thursday's Fan Appreciation Night. Go to Phillies.com or stop by the box office. Kevin Franzen, a .329 hitter. Franzen with 2 home runs and 13 runs batted in. He has 4 hits against Hudson in a limited amount of ABs. Check swing, foul ball. Franzen's numbers against the Braves this year. And he bunts and it hits him. They're going to call him out. They're going to say he was out of the batter's box when contact was made. you just don't see that called that often.
Nope.
Charlie Manuel is going to argue with Scott Barry, the home plate umpire. I don't know if somebody in the dugout was saying something. I didn't think Barry was looking at Franzen. Here comes Charlie Manuel to discuss it. Take a peek at it.
He has a call all the way. Now he'll ask, you know, they want him to check too on it, but he doesn't have to.
Back foot still in the box. He's still in the box, I think. His back foot, well, I don't know. Contact is made right there. He's still in the box.
Yeah, the front foot's on the front of on the chalk line.
And the back foot, it's up in the air, but it's technically still in the box.
Well, if it's on the front one's on the line on the front, I guess that's what the call is, right? I don't know. That's such a judgment play, and there was no doubt in the home plate umpire's mind that he had it right.
It is a judgment play. Your body has to be out of the box when you're hit.
It wasn't real easy to see one way or the other. But, you know, he had it all the way. It wasn't one of those things where he's going to go ask.
Well, the put out goes to the catcher, David Ross.
Trying to bunt for a base hit there, of course, was Franzen. He's done that successfully at times since he's been up here. We'll get the third baseman back and dump one down there.
And Lee bunts it foul. Folks are yelling all over the place. Ump, is he out?
Yeah.
Well, like so many things in this game, it is the judgment of the umpire.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask about because I'm not sure.
There's a bunt toward third. Prado quickly flips to first. 5-4 on the putout.
I've never ceased to amaze by this game how you learn something every day if you want to. So many things you don't know about it. His foot on the front. His foot's on the front. Is his body out of the box?
Well, that's the thing. The key is going to be that back foot and where he felt like his body was, because the back foot was in the air, but it was still essentially in the box.
Right. But the front foot was on the chalk.
Right.
Now, does that mean you're out?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I think it's your entire body.
That's why I say you got to ask. We'll find
According to the rule, anyway.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of umpires at home saying, I know that one. We'll tell you. Okay.
Rollins takes inside. Right there. Well, maybe that back foot was swinging across the plate.
I was looking to see if it came up and hit him in higher on his body in his uniform when he was further out, but it did hit him low. Hit him on the shin, it looked like.
I think it's where Scott Barry's interpretation of that back foot is, Wheels, because, you know, technically if your body's out of the box, then you're out if you're hit.
Yeah.
And his back foot looked like it was swinging out of the box. And
well, he got good eyes on that one.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Rollins with the runner at second here in the bottom of the third. And a swing and a miss. 1-2.
Wasn't a very long argument either. Charlie just went out for an explanation and went back.
Rollins hits it toward first. It rolled up the arm of Freeman, but he corralled it and took it to the bag. Phillies leave one in scoring position.
Sarge is back. You tell him.
Wheels, we'll see in the 7th.
Okay.
On it, low prices you'll love. Who but W.B. Mason at home. Top of the fourth inning, Braves are on top 2-0. David Ross leads it off. Ross homered his only time up. Ross takes inside. They appeal the check. No swing. Ross's home run, his last time up, was his 8th in 20 at-bats. He's been with the Braves all year. I think that puts into perspective the kind of year that Eric Kratz has had for the Phillies. The fact that Kratz, in a very limited amount of time, has 9 home runs and 26 runs batted in.
Yeah, you're right about that. That is a good backup when you can have that. Not only that, though, Ross only has driven in 19 runs.
Fly ball to center field. Playable this time for Mayberry. And there's one gone here in the fourth. So, Sarge, did you enjoy your last couple days over in the radio booth?
Yeah, I was
filling in for Larry Anderson as Larry had some time away.
Kind of slumming it over there on the radio. Had a really good time.
I don't think Scott and Larry like you saying that you're slumming it.
Well, I mean, that's actually Scott's line, so I'm actually taking it. Yeah, I'm taking it from him. But had a good time working those 9 innings. And one thing about radio, you can wear whatever shirt you want.
Oh, so you weren't wearing the Philly Television Network or the pullover or anything like that?
No, not at all. Little short sleeve and tennis shoes. Well, and you can see my partner over there. Look at him as he's probably lost something.
He's lost his mind is what he's lost.
He actually had his little bachelor party, as you know, yesterday.
Yep.
And unlike a lot of you guys, I got there early and left early.
Well,
okay? And I feel great today.
I arrived with the groom.
Good
so
for you,
I was not late. I arrived with Larry. 3-0 or 2-1 the count, I should say. Simmons takes a strike, but it was a fun time.
Very nice time. Yeah. Not a whole lot of drinking, which was good. But, I haven't been to a bachelor party where you play those kind of games and so on,
You got to get out more, Sarge.
I guess.
At the knees, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Larry and his beautiful fiancee, Christy, will be married in November. We think it's a Friday night.
No, it's on Friday.
Oh, right. There was a chance it was going to be a Saturday. And a called strike 3. Simmons down looking for strikeouts for Cliff Lee. That's the best at-bat Lee has had today.
Yeah, got that ball down and looked like had a little bit of movement, on that ball. Well, look at the location. That's what you want. I don't understand why guys are jumping back from balls that are down near the knee area. Usually you're jumping back when it's up near the arms or the chest.
First pitch to Hudson is a strike.
Guess it must be a disease. Everybody's doing it.
And it's catching. Ball foul. It's 0-2. Hudson flied out to right his first time up. Phillies trail at 2-0. A run in the second on a home run by Ross. A run in the third on a sacrifice fly by Dan Uggla. 0-2 the count. Inside and low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another update from the Bronx. How about that? The Yankees down 3-0. Now take a 4-3 lead.
Boy, no lead is safe with those Yankees. And they have professional hitters on their team.
To right center field. Mayberry can't get it. It carried right on over his head. He took an odd route initially. He bobbles it. Hudson's thinking about 3. On his way to third. The throw by Utley, and it hits Hudson.
Wow.
Well, that'll be a double and an error for John Mayberry. The Phillies just aren't playing the cleanest game today.
Really surprised that he actually went in all the way to third. You can see that he's just out of breath. Not a good route. It's plain and simple. And really, he's a better right fielder or left fielder for me than he would be center field. Pretty good throw. Hits him in the back. Yeah, now, look at this play there. You have to look that in your glove to be able to get it. You know who's running. That's why you don't have to rush it. Good throw there. You're going to get that Hudson sliding into third base. As you see, Ugla is telling him, way to go, way to go. But that's all a part of being able to play every day besides just the hitting. And we've talked about that before. I mean, you have to show up on defense when you have the pitching that, for me, the Philadelphia Phillies have.
Well, now Reed Johnson is down to the count 0-1. He's 2 for 2 with a run scored. Down the right field line and out of play. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
The other thing, too, you have, maybe you get a little bit a better pitch there to the pitcher. He did hit that ball a long way, but you got to be able to make sure you keep the damage to a minimum.
One and 2 the count to Johnson. It's kind of what he did in the third when the Braves got the bases loaded. They scored only 1 run. That was keeping the damage to a minimum. It's turned out to be an unearned run. Swing and a miss. He got him. He got himself out of a jam here in the 4th inning, and he leaves Hudson over at third. 5 strikeouts for Cliff Lee. Just the one distraction by Tim Hudson. Middle of the 4th. Juan Pierre is set to lead it off for the Phillies. New Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By McDonald's. McDonald's celebrates National Coffee Week with free small coffee now through the 29th. And by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Sarge, are you going to partake in National Coffee Week?
Yep. Yeah, I like having a nice cup of coffee. Nice brisk weather that we're having here. That first cup of coffee is always the best one. Just let me tell you that.
Maybe get yourself an Egg McMuffin or a Sausage McMuffin with egg or something like that, or maybe a Quarter Pounder.
Excuse me? Quarter Pounder?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a cheeseburger, hamburger.
All right.
Bottom of the fourth inning. Juan Pierre will lead it off. He's 0 for 1. He's grounded out to first. Phillies have just one hit today. And Pierre takes a strike. It's 0-1.
You would think Hudson might be out of breath from running all the way to third base.
0-2 the count.
Good breaking pitch. And that really does take it out of you running. And he was laboring after he went around second base, I thought.
And a called strike 3. Two-seamer came back. And 1 away. Second strikeout for Hudson. Chase Utley is coming up, and Murph has a very special guest. Murph?
Well, certainly do, T-Mac. You know, walking around, as you know, walking around the stands here in Philadelphia, you never know who you're going to meet. And boy, did we meet a good one today. Say hello to Grace, who is 99 years young. And
Valentine.
You'll be 100 on Valentine's Day in 2013. And you are just one of the biggest Phillies fans I have met in my travels through the ballpark. What do you love about the Phillies so much?
Everything. But my favorite player is Howard.
Is Ryan Howard, and there's a reason for that. Tell us, you had a connection with Ryan Howard from the very beginning. Tell us about that.
Oh, I really like him. I do, even though sometimes.
Well, tell us about your lunch with him, right?
He's wonderful, wonderful. He went around, I told you, shaking hands when he came to me. I want a hug.
You didn't want to shake his hand. You said, I want a hug, and
he hugged me.
And he gave you a good one, right?
Yeah.
Your daughter Nance is with you as well. And Nance, you guys are here every Sunday. You have the season here in Section 235. You know, your mom's always been a big sports fan, a big Phillies fan?
No, absolutely. She started liking baseball in around 1985. Started going to Veterans Stadium, and we moved over here when the Phillies did in 2004. And we love it. This is our seats and great view.
And you've seen some great games over the years. You've seen some terrific players, and you've got a chance to spend some time with your daughter as well, which is a wonderful thing. That's what baseball's all about, is it not?
Yes. Say yes. Yes.
I said you get it.
I don't hear it so good.
I don't either, to be honest with you. We're a pair, aren't we? Well, Grace, it has been, it's just so nice to meet you and sit here and talk to you and watch some baseball with you.
This was an honor.
Oh, it's our honor. Enjoy, and we'll wish you a happy birthday come February 14th next year.
Thank you very, very much.
All right, guys, from Grace and Nance, we'll send it back to the booth, guys.
All right, Murph, thank you very much. Our favorite player is up, so we'll give her a chance to soak in his at-bat. It's 1 ball and no strikes to Ryan Howard.
Have a lot of passionate fans in the ballpark, evident of Grace there. It's pretty cool. That's pretty nice.
Get a chance to spend Sundays with the family here at the ballpark. Howard's out front, 1 ball and 1 strike. Howard struck out looking his first time up. He's 2 for 9 in this series. Trying to hit a homer for the 5th consecutive game, something he's never accomplished, Sarge.
No.
Dick Allen's done it. Did it back in '69. Mike Schmidt has done it. He did it in '79. Bobby Abreu did it in '05. And Chase Utley has done it not once, but twice.
Well, you can see that he's seeing the ball a lot better. And when he doesn't swing at down pitches, and he's just a difficult hitter to be able to pitch to. Very difficult. Just the opposite when he's not swinging at strikes. It's a good pitch. See, those are the type of pitches that you don't mind him really swinging and missing at, because sometimes the pitch is going to get you. But the ones that are in the dirt, the ones that are maybe above your hands that he swings at, those are the ones you want to cut down on swinging at.
Ground ball to first. Freeman goes to second for 1. And not in time to get Howard. 3-6 on the put out at second. And there are 2 gone as Ruiz is coming up.
That was a slow developing play. Freeman taking a chance, getting the lead runner in Utley. Now they're going to play behind him at first base.
Ruiz lines it to right field, but Hayward is there. And the Phillies are retired here in the fourth inning. So still just one hit through 4 innings for the Phillies on this Sunday afternoon. We go to the 5th inning. Grace didn't get a chance to see her favorite Philly hit a home run. Maybe next time. We'll be back. Are encouraged to bring non-perishable food, especially Goya food products, for a food drive. Goya will match the amount donated up to 5,000 pounds of food, with donations going to Philabundance and needy families in the Latino community. For information on the event, visit Phillies.com/theme nights. Top half of the 5th, Martin Prado will lead it off, and he takes low. 1 ball and no strikes. Prado's 1 for 2. Single to right off the glove of Dominic Brown, his first time up. Braves lead at 2-0. They scored the unearned run in the 3rd. Unearned because of the error by Lee.
Prado, one of those guys that you call a professional hitter, meaning that it doesn't really matter how high you hit, but he gives you a good at bat just about every single time, knows the situation. Carlos Lee, you would call a professional hitter. Those are the type of guys that you need on your team to be able to win. Miguel Cabrera, he would be another one. Probably your true professional hitter, because he doesn't have speed.
Out of play, and it's 3-2. Well, Miguel Cabrera is trying to accomplish something that hasn't been accomplished since 1967 in the American League, and that's win the Triple Crown. He tied Josh Hamilton in home runs yesterday with his 42nd, and it was a long one. So he leads the American League in average, tied for the lead in homers, and leads in RBIs. Mayberry on the run. That's slicing away from him. He can't get it. It's off his glove, and it trickles to the track. Prado on his way to second. He'll stop there. A leadoff double.
Wow. Something strange about that particular play. It looks as if he had a bead on it, and Mayberry slowed down maybe just a little bit and then had to go into the dive as that ball. See how he slowed up right there, almost to time himself diving. That was the last time you heard or seen a player do a shoestring type of a catch. That ball's got to be caught for me there. And again, good effort, just off the glove, but by him stopping a little bit, that's why he had to go into the dive.
Well, it's the 7th hit now for the Braves. And here's Hayward with nobody out. Foul tip, 0-1. Getting back to Cabrera, though, Sarge, you know, folks wonder about the MVP in the American League. I don't think anything's ever a slam dunk, but I can't imagine that he won't win the MVP in the American League.
You know, it shouldn't even be talked about, honestly. I mean, the kind of year that he's had and the way that Cabrera clutch hits, he's going to win that hands down. Trout will be your rookie of the year. They were talking about him earlier during the year as MVP, and well, they should have, because he was playing very well. But when it's all said and done and the dust settles, Miguel Cabrera, Detroit, third baseman, should be your MVP. And like you said, nothing's a slam dunk, but what a year he's had.
0-2 pitch to Hayward, and he hits it foul. But the thing about it, too, I don't know, you would know this better than I would, but switching positions also and putting up these numbers. Now, that may have affected him the first half of the year, just understanding a position that he used to play.
Yeah.
It hasn't affected him at all.
He separates it. He knows when he's on offense, he's there, and when he's on defense, he's there. A lot of guys you'll see on defense mimicking their swings and thinking about that. Well, Cabrera doesn't have to do that.
Broke his bat left side. Franzen looks the runner back to second. There's one away.
Good play by Franzen.
And a really good pitch by Cliff Lee.
There's that, what is that, little cutter there. You see that ball as it goes away, hits off the end of the bat, breaks it. Franzen does the right thing, looking the runner back. There's that two-handed grab there by Ryan Howard at first base.
One out. Freddie Freeman's the hitter. He's 1 for 2.
Before long, too, this Freeman will be in that category. He's still a player, young player, still learning how to hit, but putting up big numbers. Hey, at least pitching a pretty good game here. Couple of little miscues. Only 2 runs up to this point. He's given up.
Swing and a miss. He's got 6 strikeouts on the afternoon.
Yeah, he's got that ball in the right location. He seems to just do it so easy. I mean, take a look at him. His demeanor is just great here today. Look at the movement again.
Oh, with 2 outs, Dan Ugla's the batter. Attention physical education teachers. Here's a free program to get children healthy through smart food choices and exercise. Classrooms receive tip booklets, fitness posters, and the chance to win a fun fitness session at their school. It's all part of Phillies Fitness, presented by NovaCare Rehabilitation. For more information, visit phillies.com/fitness with a P. Or email fandev@phillies.com. 0-1 the count to Dan Ugla. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Ugla has an RBI today on a sacrifice fly. He's also struck out.
Has a base open, doesn't have to get into him, and like to try and get him out on your pitch. Your pitch that doesn't necessarily have to be a strike. Good pitch.
Swinging fastball. He got a change up.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's got to be in the right location, especially you know how powerful that Ugly is. We'll say, though, Cliff Lee is not the type of pitcher that will back down there from just about any hitter.
Swing and a miss. Boy, did he tie him up. He threw him a cutter down and in. That is a nasty pitch for the 7th strikeout of the afternoon for Cliff Lee. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left for the Braves. Lee danced away from a leadoff double. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Bill Bellamy and Vivica A. Fox catch the premiere of First Family at 8 and Mr. Box Office at 9. Sunday's new primetime comedy block kicks off tonight right here on PHL 17. Dominic Brown starts it off here in the bottom of the 5th. And Brown sends one in the air foul off to the right, now to play. 0-1. Brown flying out to left his first time up.
You look at Brown, really does kind of remind you there of Hayward. He has a little ways to go, however, to get there. Keep in mind, though, Hayward didn't have an exactly great year last year. Made some adjustments with Greg Walker, hitting coach, and has become a pretty good player and hitter. Good athlete, however, and the same as Brown. Just want to see a little bit more power and maybe better jumps in the outfield on certain balls.
Yeah, I think that's the edge right now. I mean, Hayward, strange as it sounds, is younger than Dominic, but that Jason is a little more baseball athletic right now.
Yeah, and has a little better idea of what he's trying to do there at the plate. Had a great first year, but then that next year he didn't hit the ball the way that they thought he was, and now this was a big project for Greg Walker, hitting coach, and he's passed the test. Hayward has had an extremely good year.
Now it's a little paint from Tim Hudson for his 3rd strikeout. He's got 3 strikeouts looking today. John Mayberry's due up. A look at the Toyota Major League scoreboard. And the Brewers have taken a 2-0 lead over the Washington Nationals. 8 hits already for Milwaukee. Giovanni Gallardo is the pitcher for the Brewers, so they have their ace out on the mound. John Mayberry singled. He has the only hit today for the Phillies against Tim Hudson. 0-1. Final Sunday regular season home game for the Phillies.
Well, beautiful day.
Chopper back toward the middle, and Simmons will cut it off. And 2 quick outs here in the 5th inning. See the standing room only crowd that is out at Ashburn Alley. Today's game will be well above capacity. At least it seems like it will be. Just as yesterday was and Friday night was. Fall-like afternoon, temperatures in the 60s. But it must be pretty comfortable out in the sunshine right now. Kevin Franzen takes it inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes to Franzen, who was called out by the home plate umpire Scott Barry on a bunt attempt. Barry said that the ball hit Franzen while he was out of the batter's box.
That's a tough call.
Yeah, so much of the rule is the discretion, like a lot of rules, the discretion of the umpire. But Rule 6.03, which is the one we were discussing before, the batter's legal position shall be with both feet within the batter's box. Now there, Franzen does not have to worry about it. 2-out single. Time now for the Coors Light Freeze Cam. Here's that play. Right there. He's technically still in the box. However, the home plate umpire says as the ball hits him, see the contact with the knee, he's out of the box. See, his back leg, which is where the ball hits, is up and out of the box. Now it's in the plane of the box, but it's out of the box.
Yeah, I didn't think that was a very good call for me.
I didn't either, just the way the rule is interpreted. But again, it's the discretion of the umpire. Ball's hit softly to second. And Lee and the Phillies are retired here in the 5th. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left, 2 hits overall for the Phils. Well, we go to the 6th inning. Kind of a pitcher's duel here between the Phils and the Braves. Of the week is showing his power once again. After missing the first 84 games of the season, Ryan Howard moved back into the cleanup spot, looking to regain his damaging swing. That swing returned this week in New York in a big way, winning 1 game and putting a grand cap on another. The fine-tuning is not completely done, but adding his 300th career home run is a big step for the big piece in the right direction. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Oh, there's Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard and the rest of the Phil's offense has been quieted today by Tim Hudson. Still plenty of time left, though, and the Phillies down by 2. Ryan has had a remarkable run of success with RBIs recently for the Phillies. In fact, counting yesterday's home run, he has 21 RBIs in 20 September games.
Unbelievable.
It's not including today because he's not done today. Jeff Baker 0 for 2 is grounded out twice. Will lead off the 6th for the Braves. And a foul tip. It's 0-1. Seems like the Braves have been trading partners with the Cubs this year. They've acquired 3 players from the Cubs. Baker 1. Johnson and Mahalem are the other 2. Reed Johnson and Paul Mahalem.
Well, I like that Reed for sure. Can play multiple positions.
One ball, 1 strike to count.
Sorry, Tom. I'm sure they're glad they're here with the Braves as opposed to the Cubs, with being in last place or close to it.
I would agree with you on that. You know, speaking of the Cubs, I wonder what they'll do with Alfonso Soriano this offseason. He has over 100 RBIs.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if many teams are going to want him because of the way he plays defense. I mean, he's got to drive in that many runs to make it worth it.
8 strikeouts now for Cliff Lee.
Yep, another strikeout on a high fastball or cutter out of the zone. Nice pitch.
Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team 1, 2, 3, which Cliff has done 0 times so far, but he's on his way here in the 6th. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. Swing and a miss by Ross. He has a home run today through the wind into the bushes in center field.
Thought the wind might have knocked that ball down a little, but it didn't. That shows you that when you hit line drives will get out of any ballpark. This is what I'm talking about. Boy, he caught that one. I mean, just hit it a ton. I thought maybe Mayberry could have gotten back a little bit quicker. You know, again, don't want to belabor the point on the defense, but when that ball's hit, you got to get off there. Another strikeout for Lee. That ball's hit. You got to get back as quick as you can and then get up. But it looked to be hit pretty deep back in center field.
Well, I agree with you about the wind. I thought, and it's only because of Utley's fly ball in the previous half inning, I thought Ross's ball would be brought back because of the wind. Because Chase's was brought back. It wasn't the case. He hit it right through it. Here's Simmons, who's 0 for 2, and he hits the first pitch off the glove of Franzen. No, not a whole lot of time to react for Kevin Franzen. And that's a base hit.
That ball smoked almost like it hit off his wrist. See him get it up slow, and that tell you it's a position, and that's why they call it the hot corner over there. Position that you need quick reflexes.
Tim Hudson takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Hudson doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
Another pretty good hitting pitcher. 231 right now.
Popped up first base side. Howard on the run, and he's there. And the inning is over. Ryan Howard helps take care of Cliff Lee. Lee is through 6. He has 9 strikeouts. He's allowed 2 runs. Time for a little help from his friends when we get back. Dodge.com or your local dealer today. By W.B. Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Ford. Ford is America's brand. Go further. Visit your Quality Plus Ford store today. Last of the sixth inning, Sarge, and the Phillies will have the top of the order due up against Tim Hudson, who has faced the Phillies now 27 times. He's had some very good outings, and he's had some not so good outings, and I guess you'd have to put this in the category of a good outing against the Phillies.
Well, he's been throwing all of his pitches, getting them over the plate. That's why when I talked about earlier about professional hitters, you want to have that top to bottom because you wear the pitcher down mentally when you have good at bats, and that's when he might be able to make that mistake.
That's the pitch I think today that he's had going for him, is that little comeback two-seam fastball.
Don't understand why they're giving up on it. They know that he has this pitch. He's been throwing that for years.
Change up outside, 1-1 to Rollins, who's 0 for 2 and 0 for 9 in the series.
A good time to score 1 or 2 runs to make yourself feel better mentally. Now this is a situation usually your leadoff hitter, you would really want to take that pitch just to see if you could get on. J-Roll, however, not that type of a hitter. Well, he did take it.
Yeah, it's the first 3-ball count of the day for Hudson.
And usually he is swinging at that pitch. That was a good pitch, though, to swing at. But you want to take that to see if you can go on and get on.
Ball 4, so he's aboard. First walk of the day for Hudson. Juan Pierre is 0 for 2.
Got Juan Pierre on the strikeout, looking where that little two-seamer came right back across the plate.
Toss over to first. Rollins back diving. Right on by Freeman. Rollins should be able to get to third on this one. He's around second. Now he's going to stop. Uggla did a good job of backing it up. I thought it was going to shoot a little farther down the right field line, but it kind of died in the grass.
Yeah, and you don't want to go unless you know that you can make it almost standing up. Hudson says, my bad, as he throws that ball away. Take a look at it on the opposite side. That's a side there that Freeman not going to be able to get it. As J-Roll is taking a look at it, trying to determine whether or not he was going to go to third base. That's when Uggla jumping on that pretty quick. It would have been bang bang there at third base.
corners are in. It's 1 ball and no strikes to Juan Pierre with Rollins at second. Pierre bunts back toward the mound. Rollins will get to third.
Even though that ball bunted right back to Hudson, he didn't even take a look to see where the runner was. And that's what that speed will do to you. Very important here, though, to be able to, like he is, you get him over, now you got to get him in.
Follow the Phillies on social media for all the latest information about the team and its activities. Enjoy special activities and opportunities only available through our social media accounts. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, and Google+. Visit Phillies.com/social for a list of accounts. And now with 1 out, it's Utley, who's 0 for 1, 1 for 8 in the series, hit by a pitch his last time up. He was nearly hit by another pitch. He would have taken that to get Howard up.
Well, most players jump out of the way on inside strikes. This is one of those guys that usually stays right in there no matter what. And he will take one for the team. Seen that before.
Utley lines it to right field, and diving is Hayward. He comes up with it. Rollins is saying it was no catch. He has to hustle across the plate. And the Phillies are on the board on what is a sacrifice fly for Chase Utley. And it's a 2-1 ball game.
Well, I got to tell you that he's got pretty good eyes. If you can see a no catch from there, as they're getting ready to say J-Ro left a little bit too soon. I don't think he did at all, as he does get the safe call. Take a look at it as he is coming in. You be the judge of that.
He caught it.
Yeah, shoestring right there. J-Ro saying no catch, no catch. But he did catch it. Better try and get in, as he did, with no slide.
So the Phillies are on the board on a sac fly by Utley, his 41st RBI. Run number 97 for Rollins. And Howard takes low. It's 1-0. Howard is 0 for 2.
Utley ended up hitting that low line drive on the same pitch. That little two-seamer that comes right back. Well, you could get him on a pitch during the game, but he fouls that, and being able to use it again and drive in the run. That's good hitting. Blew that one right by him. Shouldn't be able to throw that ball by Ryan Howard at 91.
Right into the shift. Simmons, the shortstop on the right side, throws him out. 6-3 on the putout. The Phillies, however, do score a run on the sac fly by Chase Utley. On to the 7th we go. It's a 1-run game.
What was Murph doing out there?
Murph was interviewing a young lady who will be 100 on Valentine's Day of next year. Her name's Grace.
Oh, that's great. Well, here's our game summary, and nothing is good as seeing Murph and Grace out there like that. That was beautiful. David Ross with a home run. They were really good pitching here today. Tim Hudson's only allowed 2 hits, 3 runs in the game, 2 of them unearned. And ironically, the unearned runs are because of errors by the pitchers.
Well, Cliff Lee will go back to work here in the 7th. He has struck out 9 so far. Reed Johnson, the batter. It's 0-1. Ground ball to shortstop. Rollins hurries.
Probably his last inning, too. He's getting near it. Whoop. He just threw it away out there. But that won't be an unearned run or an error.
These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com.
It was interesting what Freddie Gonzalez did last inning, and you see the difference in the way managers can play teams with the way their team is constructed. There are very few balls, of course, from Cliff Lee and 97 strikeouts. They have a 2-run lead. They're on the road in the 6th inning. And a runner at 3rd and 1 out. And what do? They play the infield back because they're going to concede a run there. Figure, all right, we'll get in a 1-run game with you, and we'll beat you with our bullpen later on. What we don't want to do is bring the infield in, have somebody bloop one out there, and then maybe get into a tie game or even lose the lead. So when you have a great bullpen like they have, you just saw the way they played the game in the 6th inning.
Yeah, their bullpen is probably going to enable them to be the favorites in the National League by a lot of folks when it comes to the postseason.
And you also are going to factor in by the time they get to when they're ready to use their bullpen, there's going to be nasty shadows out there. So everything is in their favor to have a lead, and that's why Freddie, I think, played his infield the way that he did.
There's Craig Kimbrell, who we have not seen in the series so far. 2-1 the count to Martin Prado.
You get a good chance to see him today the way this one's going.
Swing and a miss and a change up 2-2.
And they'll be pitching in shadows.
Cliff Lee has 22 double-digit strikeout performances in his career. And 1 more strikeout and he'll reach number 23. He has 9 strikeouts through 6 1/3. And the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball left side. Rollins is going to have to hurry on this one. Good stretch by Howard.
Not a great runner, Prado, but that ball was hit so softly that Jimmy had to surround it and backhand it so he could get a lot on the throw, and just barely did get him.
Hayward is 0 for 3.
A heck of a play he just made. That ball drops out there. Chase Utley's on at first base. They can't play their infield the same way they just did on Ryan Howard. They have to be in a little bit more. Maybe that ball he hits so hard finds a hole as opposed to going at 3 guys that are way back.
Ball's hit back toward the box under Lee. Rollins again. And it's a 1-2-3. Jimmy Rollins in it. 3 groundouts from Cliff Lee. Is his day done? It might be. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's time to stretch, and the Phillies trail it by 1. Wheels. Chipper Jones holds the all-time record for career RBI by a third baseman with 1,622. Who is second?
I don't know, but I'll go with Michael Jack.
Michael Jack Schmidt is incorrect.
Really?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Well, you want me to give you a hint, or you want the answer?
Give me a hint.
Let's see. His brother played for the Phillies.
Oh, George Brett.
George Brett is correct with 1,596.
How many Mike have?
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fence.
He was close to that, wasn't he?
I would think he was. Let me
find
see.
out. Mike Schmidt had to have 1,500 RBIs.
1,595.
Oh,
if he could have just played another year.
Come on, Schmitty. Why'd you quit so soon? I mean, retire.
No.
It was that close, huh? Really, just one RBI between those two?
That close.
You talk about two great third basemen in the same era. Mike Schmidt, George Brett.
Well, bottom of the seventh inning. Carlos Ruiz, Dominic Brown, and John Mayberry to lead it off against Tim Hudson. Some guy's got a sign down behind Carlos Ruiz. Look at that sign over his shoulder, Wheels. It says, "Hey, Chipper, I'm going to miss you, but she's not." A Braves fan with a Phillies fan. There you go. I will miss you, but she will not.
That's great.
I talked to Chipper yesterday about the Dick Perez print, which he received.
Yeah.
And he absolutely loved it. That was the gift the Phillies gave to Chipper Jones on Friday night. Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins presented it with him. And I mean, he's always thinking from a baseball standpoint. 0-2 to Ruiz. He said what he loved most about it is that the painting was done with Chipper in full swing with his head down. And he said it's going to be the perfect picture for him to show his kids before and after their games.
Yeah. It's a great painting. I saw that the other night. I remember saying, boy, that's a good looking swing. Well, he looked at it and thought that's a picture perfect swing.
Yeah.
Huh? Well, he had a lot of good looking swings like that. And I'm sure he liked it left-handed instead of right. Not that there's anything wrong right-handed, but Dick had the foresight to do it him swinging left-handed.
1-2 the count to Ruiz. Fights it off, and it remains 1-2. Here's that print. See where look at his head. Head is down.
Great shot.
That's the part that he really likes.
I didn't want smudge of painting, but sorry, got it off there.
Can't give it back, Wiz.
No.
Ruiz lines it to center. Reed Johnson is in and makes the catch.
Dick Perez has done great work for a long time, and that was really a nice gift.
So with one out, Dominic Brown is coming up. Let's check in with Murph. Murph?
All right, guys. Well, it was a nice scene before the game today as Jimmy Rollins was honored as the Phillies nominee for this year's Roberto Clemente Award. Each team, of course, selects one player who, best represents the game on and off the field, and all the great work that Jimmy Rollins has done with his family foundation, raising money each and every year through a number of different activities, including that base bowl that he has every year. Raised $178,000 this year, over $1 million as a player, Jimmy Rollins. So nominated for the award. Each major league team nominates one player, and then Major League Baseball selects the winner. So good luck to Jimmy Rollins, and certainly well deserved as well.
Absolutely. The guy on the mound is the recipient for the Braves as the Braves nominee for the Roberto Clemente Award, but that is a great honor. I think a lot of players really cherish that kind of opportunity to be put in the same conversation of a Roberto Clemente.
Man died in a humanitarian effort to Nicaragua. What more can you say about another person? And what a great player he was.
John Mayberry is the batter with 2 outs here in the 7th. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Appreciate that, Murph. Forgotten that the Phillies had released that the other day, and then the ceremony took place today. Representatives from Chevrolet were here. Mayberry's 1 for 2. He has one of the 2 hits today for the Phillies.
Had another nice one down there. The Dallas Green Award today was presented to Bill Harper, who's a long-time scout for the Phillies and signed Ryan Sandberg a long time ago. And Ryan was down there along with Marty Walliver, for that award. And it was nice to see Bill Harper again down on the field with Dallas.
Yeah, this is the weekend of the awards for the Phillies and their front office, and for the players too. In fact, on Friday night, the Richie Ashburn Award was given out to Rob Halladay. And here's the Dallas Green Award given out to Bill Harper.
There he is. Bill from the state of Washington, and that was his territory when he signed Ryne Sandberg back in the 70s. I guess he's pretty proud of that. And there's Marty Walliver down there, Dallas, and Ryne Sandberg.
Swing at a foul tip, and Mayberry is a strikeout victim, and Tim Hudson continues to handcuff the Phillies. Just 2 hits through 7. We go to the 8th inning here in Philadelphia. To the loan that's right for you. Buy Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. And buy Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer or visit ChevyDealer.com. Oh, the fact that the Phillies went down quietly in their half of the 7th means Cliff Lee will get a chance to begin the 8th inning as they continue to give him an opportunity to win a ball game. It's only human nature, if you're Cliff Lee, to shake your head. They just do not score runs for the guy.
No. Coming into the game, 72 runs for him in 190 innings. So now make it 71 or 73 in 197 innings. That's amazing.
Felipe Alman is in the bullpen, warming up. Want to know the count to Freeman. And Freeman will be aboard as that ball bloops over the head of Rollins.
Another bullet.
Toyota Major League Scoreboard out to Chicago, where the Cardinals have taken a 3-0 lead over the Cubs. Alan Craig, 2 RBIs, a run scored. 8 hits through 4 innings for the Cubs.
Cardinals.
For the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That was a kick in the gut yesterday for the Phillies to watch not only that ball game, but then the Phillies game itself.
And Marmol had been really good up until that point. For a guy who had struggled as much as he did.
Threw a down and in fastball, and Carlos Beltran just hooked it down the right field line.
Times that we talked about how far they go and left-handed hitters hit them.
1 out as Brown takes care of Uggla here in the 8th. Get back to the Cliff Lee stuff. I know there are games this year where he's had leads and he hasn't been able to hold those leads. And that is, that's something that is evident throughout the season. But his last 5 starts, the Phillies have scored 3 runs, 3 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs, and 4 runs. He's held the opposition to 1-1, 2-1-1.
And today 2, and one of them's unearned. A center field home run by Ross. thing you think when you look at Lee too, Tom, is he hasn't lost anything. He's still the same pitcher. He still can throw the same pitches. He can spot them. They move the same way. It's just a matter if he keeps it out of the middle of the plate. He has good games.
Want to know the count? The pitch outside. It's 2-0. I do think he's stronger in this second half than he was in the first half for whatever reason. I'm not sure what it was. It could have been the oblique that bothered him, that put him on the DL. But he does seem like he's been sharper.
Well, that's my point. He's hitting his spots now, whereas in games earlier he'd throw the ball down the middle of the plate. And let's face it, we saw games out there where you just wondered where his concentration was too, because he'd throw a home run or someone who would make an error, little things, and then all of a sudden he would get into an inning that he couldn't get out of. And I don't think that was stuff as much as he just had a lack of focus.
Yeah, that's coming into today. So that ERA, the second half earned run average, is down in the 2.3s. 3-0 the count to Baker. At a strike, it's 3-1.
Pitch count's getting pretty high right now. That's why they have Alma up, just in case.
Now he has the off day tomorrow, but that may not matter depending on how the Phillies decide to use their rotation. The other thing too is that Roy Halladay said that he does not expect to miss a start. Now the Phillies, they may think differently with that depending on how he is the next couple of days. 3-2 with one out here at the top of the 8th inning. We'll see if Freeman decides to go. Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie, they'll have some decisions to make. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. That's double digits in strikeouts for Cliff Lee. Baker knew it. Number 10 puts the second out on the board here in the 8th inning.
3-2 changeup, and he could not hold up. Good call by Darling, the first base umpire. There you go, 23rd career double-digit strikeout game. 15 with the Phillies. Does he go? It sure looked like it. Oh yeah, no doubt on that one. As you said, he knew it too. He was just banging. He's going to run down to first. Hope they would give it to him.
David Ross, the hitter. Ross homered back in the second, and has also fly to center and struck out looking.
See what they're going to do with their bullpen. Some guys standing around out there. Hudson's been so good today. They may just try to ride him right to. Well, what they would do is they would hit for him if they get to him, or they're going to maybe just ride him right to Kimbrel in the ninth.
Curveball, and it's strike one.
Shadows are starting to get to the mound, and that's really going to make it tough. See right there, it's fall when you're only 20 minutes to 4 in the shadow. The light tower's at the mound. Light towers know too.
I think it's out of their control.
Yeah. And son wants to sneak down behind him a little quicker.
Cliff Lee has been locked to the pitcher's duel this afternoon. 0-2 the count to David Ross. Breaking ball hit foul. Just barely got a piece of it.
Okay, he threw a breaking ball up there. Got him out front, and he just tipped it. You see those shadows starting to come across the field. That's a sure sign the playoffs are around the corner.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Strikeout number 11 for Cliff Lee. He has scattered 9 hits over 8 innings, 2 runs. Unfortunately, the Phillies offense has been quieted this afternoon, but Cliff Lee has done his job. He wraps up his outing by getting David Ross to wrap up the top of the 8th. Appreciation Night here at the ballpark. Phillies will take on the Washington Nationals. All fans will receive the 2013 schedule magnet when they come to the ballpark. Plus, there's a postcard pack which is featuring highlights of the 2012 Phils. That is free to all fans. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Then when you're at the ballpark, there'll be surprises and prizes given out. Boy, Cliff Lee, in his final start here at Citizens Bank Park in the regular season, 11 strikeouts. He did scatter 9 hits, but he gave up just 2 runs. Tim Hudson starts the bottom of the 8th against Kevin Franzen, and with Lance Nix out of the on-deck circle.
You're thinking about that one inning where they got the extra run that leads. He had an error in that inning. There was a ball in the outfield, probably should have been caught, and he still pitched out of it.
Up the third base slide, Prado.
Can he make every play, too?
Man just could play any position and make every play.
He made that look easy. It's a heck of a play here on our Liberty Mutual defensive play of the game by Jason Hayward. Chase Utley hits a screaming sinking liner with Jimmy Rollins at third. Looked like it could be a hit. If it gets by him, it's going to be a lot of trouble, but makes a great play there. And then Jimmy scores for the Phillies 1 run. And that's our Liberty Mutual defensive play of the game. And more impressive, he repaired his divot.
Responsibility is to repair your divot. What's your policy? Well, Hudson is done. He's lifted with the Phillies' introduction of Lance Nix as the pinch hitter. Eric O'Flaherty is going to commit to this ball game. We'll see if Charlie Manuel counters with a change of his own. There's Ty Wigginton. He's coming into the on-deck circle. So it's an AT&T call to the bullpen. This Sunday afternoon, the Phillies down by 1. In 1 run, a walk and 4 strikeouts. He's lifted because Charlie Manuel had put Lance Nix in the ball game. But now that Eric O'Flaherty has been introduced, Ty Wigginton will come up to pinch hit. You see O'Flaherty's numbers. He's 3-0 with a 1.84 ERA. 45 strikeouts and 53 2/3 so far. And he's been their 8th inning guy all year long. So he'll try to get the last couple of outs. The Phillies will try to stop that.
And this is where the opposition manager goes for the matchup he wants, because he knows that the Phillies are not going to hit Nix if he brings in O'Flaherty, but he'd rather it be this way than Hudson maybe tiring a little bit. Again, he's a low ball pitcher. Nix is a low ball hitter, so they're going to go this way, and why not with the success they've had.
Wigginton's numbers against O'Flaherty, he's 3 for 5 against him. Outside 2-0. Phillies have Papelbon warming up in the bullpen.
Yeah, he'll pitch the 9th. Hopefully in a tie game or ahead in a save situation, but or to just keep it where it is. Oh. Just 1 walk for Tim Hudson in the game. You don't expect these 2 guys, Lee and Hudson, to walk many, and then the walk cost him just 1 run.
1 walk, 1 hit batter. Broke his bat, and 1 hopper to Simmons. And with 2 outs, Jimmy Rollins will be the hitter. There is Jonathan, as you mentioned.
I have to think some fans out there today on our trivia guessed Eddie Matthews. And I was thinking Eddie Matthews for the all-time third baseman RBI. So he had a lot, 1,453.
Thought you were thinking Mike Schmidt.
I was thinking Mike Schmidt, but Eddie Matthews was in the mix.
He was a good player.
Yeah.
There might have been a point a few years ago that Eddie Matthews would have been in the mix.
He would have been. He would have been the leader. I get it. All those guys had to pass Eddie Matthews.
Rollins takes outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
Pass a guy like Matthews, you were some kind of hitter and run producer.
Two 2-0 the count to Rollins, who has flied out to left, grounded out, walked and scored. Popped him up. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman, is in foul territory, and that'll do it for the 8th inning. Phillies go down quietly in their half of the 8th. 9 in a row retired by Braves pitching. Hudson can go into the clubhouse knowing that he has a 2-1 lead going into the 9th. Season on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins October 5th with the wild card on TBS. That's what the Phillies are battling for. They commit to the game today, 4 games behind the Cardinals for the final spot, the final playoff spot in the National League. The Braves' magic number to clinch a playoff spot was at 3 when play began today. And now as we go to the top of the 9th inning, if the Phils have a chance in their final at bat, they'll need Jonathan Papelbon in his 66th game to keep the Braves offense quiet here in the 9th. It'll be Simmons, that then looks like Overbay as a pinch hitter. And then the top of the order, Cliff Lee. 11 strikeouts today, 8 innings, the 15th consecutive start with at least 6 innings and not more than 1 walk. He didn't walk anybody in today's ball game.
A new major league record.
New major league record.
Wow. You know, we said, what was it, 4 walks now in 80 innings.
And he is on the losing side right now in this ball game. But Tim Hudson was really good today.
Really good today. Tim Hudson pitched the way that Tim Hudson can pitch. The Phillies have had some luck against him this year, but those were games where he didn't have some great command like the last time out, and they were able to get him to elevate some pitches and hurt him a little bit. Today, you could see from the first inning he was probably going to be really tough to beat.
Simmons is 1 for 3. He's grounded out, he's struck out, and he's singled.
Have to keep it to 1, especially with Kimbrel coming into the game. Phillies last time were able to work some magic on him on that 2-out. Was it 2 outs? 2-strike pitch? Well, anyway, Kratz hit the home run to tie it in the 9th inning off it. No, it was 2 strikes. There he is, and he'll come in pitch in the shadows the way the Papelbon is right now. Still think that guy could be in Cy Young consideration.
Oh, I think he is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because relief pitchers, you think more about starters, but what a job that guy has done.
Well, I think the fact that some of his numbers have been sort of unprecedented with what he's been able to accomplish. It's even better than Gagne when Gagne won the Cy Young.
Well, keep it right where it is and see if they can get him again.
1-2 pitch. Check swing or half-hearted swing.
See how defense
emergency swing.
Well, yeah, because of the conditions right now. You saw the wild swing he took at that breaking ball because he's just trying to hit a fastball. It's really hard for a hitter. Look at the shadows right now. It's almost impossible for a hitter to see spin right now, and that's what they hit off. Or at least they should.
Another foul ball. By the way, the Kratz home run was with 2 outs.
And two strikes, I think. We don't have
no, I'm sorry. It was to lead off the inning.
And led off.
It was the Mayberry home run that was with 2 strikes.
Right.
Or 2 outs.
2 outs.
In the 10th inning.
That was an amazing game. And Kimbrel hasn't blown a whole lot this year.
1-2 the count to Simmons. And St. Louis, they've gone to the bottom of the, or top of the 5th inning at Wrigley Field. Swing and a miss, and 1 out. 12 strikeouts today for Phillies pitching. Catch all the highlights and a recap of this ball game with Mike Missinelli and Marty Bystrom, plus reaction from the clubhouse and an update on the National League wild card race next on the Phillies postgame show live from Sugar House Casino. Lyle Overbay will pinch hit. Overbay as a pinch hitter this year is 7 for 33. In the Phillies half of the 9th inning, Pierre, Utley, and Howard against Craig Kimbrel. The Phillies try to keep their hopes alive.
Well, the Braves have shown them the last 2 days too why they have a heck of a chance to progress and go into postseason and move along because of this pitching they have. Phillies have, the last 2 days have basically done nothing offensively.
3 hits yesterday, 2 hits today.
And it's because they can throw some really good arms out there.
Little flare out to shortstop, and it's caught by Rollins.
But the Braves will be wandering, Tom, into that brand new land of first year 1 game playoff, winner takes all. That should be very, very interesting.
Somebody brought up a good point the other day. I mean, if you're the Reds or the Nationals, would you prefer to be have the second best record in the National League, so then you host the first couple of games of the division series?
And that's going to be a 1-year thing this year.
It's a 1-year thing. Yeah. Well, at least that's the plan right now.
Right.
Because the team with the best record will face the wild card winner, but in the wild card city.
On the road, yeah.
For
2 games.
Which I still don't get.
Yeah, and then 3 at home.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a little little mixed up this year.
0-1 the count to Johnson. He went, and it's 0-2.
See the swings they're getting, or non-swings, and that's what you hope to fill. Look at him. I can't see, and I got a lot of eye black on too.
Now the 0-2 pitch coming to Johnson. Foul tip, and Papelbon is a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Well, he did his job because that's what the Phillies needed, was to keep this in a one-run ball game. So now we go to the bottom of the ninth inning. Craig Kimbrell's coming in, and those are the scheduled hitters for the Phillies. There's Craig Kimbrell, who's been the best closer in baseball this year. He's on to try to close it out for the Braves. The Phils have beat him one time this season. He has 38 saves and 41 opportunities, 105 strikeouts and 57 1/3, and just 25 hits, including that home run by Eric Kratz. So as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, it'll be Juan Pierre who will lead it off against him. The Phillies trail it by 1. Our W. Mason deliveries of the game. It was the one unearned run that Cliff Lee allowed today. He's charged with an error on this particular play. And then with the bases loaded, Dan Ugglas sends one to the track in left center field. John Mayberry makes the catch, but Reed Johnson scores, and that's the difference in this ball game right now. Our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. Corners are in, and they're over toward the line, and the first pitch is a strike to Pierre.
Yeah, they're going to bring Way in and say guard the lines on both sides on Juan Pierre. Actually, they'll put Freeman a little bit off the bag because he's unlikely to pull Kimbrell. Have to guard against a bunt.
Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Kimbrell has a much improved breaking ball this year, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's almost unhittable. But they're going to, all these hitters are going to try and find a fastball to hit. He will walk guys once in a while. He's gotten better at that this year.
First batter he's faced this year, 1 home run. That was the at-bat by Kratz.
Right. As it turns out, that was Kratz. He's given up 1 RBI off a hitter. First hitter.
Pierre takes inside, 3-1.
Great job by Juan Pierre to this point.
Utley's on deck.
They know they will not bunt him. keeps pumping fastballs, 95, 96. About as effortless a 95 as you'll ever see.
The 3-2. Hit hard towards short, but caught by Simmons. And there's one out. Second base umpire Paul Emmel made the call that he did catch it. So it's not a 6-3. It's just a line out.
See, it's kind of a humpback liner here, and in Drelton Simmons, he knows he catches this. But, you know, one thing you can't do as a player is umpire. So he makes sure, and he throws it over to first base just in case. In case they missed it, I'm going to throw him out.
And it does happen.
It does happen. That's why as players, they cannot umpire.
Utley's 0 for 1 today. He's been hit by a pitch, and he has a sacrifice fly. Just 2 hits today for the Phils, 5 in the last 2 games. And it's 1-0 to Chase.
It was a really good at bat by Juan Pierre, though. He ran the count full. Hit it pretty decent, but right at Simmons. Where he's standing in that shadow like that. Now comes back a little bit into the sunshine, then throws it 97 miles an hour. Back into shadows. If Kimbrel could have the perfect conditions to pitch it, this would probably be it. So get him.
Utley pops it foul to our left and out of play. Nice catch by a Phillies fan who had it sized up from the time it was ventured up to the Hall of Fame club. 1-2 the count. Utley hits it in the air to left center field. Long running in for Reed Johnson. Out goes Simmons. And the shortstop makes the catch. So now 2 outs, and Ryan Howard is up for the Phillies.
Kimbrel has stupid strikeout numbers when you look at them. For innings pitched, they put the ball in play twice on him so far today. Ryan Howard's been hot with the home runs lately, and Kimbrel will supply some power for you.
First slider of the day for Kimbrel, and it's 1-1.
Get in there, a cloud just came over.
38 saves, are second in the National League.
Look at that.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Still threw it by him.
One and two the count. Phil's down to their final out, their final strike on this Sunday afternoon of the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him, and Craig Kimbrel saves the game for the Atlanta Braves, whose magic number is down to 2. And it also pushes the Phillies to 4.5 games back for the final wild card spot in the National League. And time is running out on the Philadelphia Phillies here in 2012. 2-1 the final score. The Braves win 2 of 3 from the Phillies this weekend. Our Chevrolet player of the game, it was a pitcher's duel, so it goes to the guy that gets the victory, and that's Tim Hudson.
And we're all going to give Medlin the start in that big first game they're going to have, but this guy will be ready too if they need him. Tim Hudson really stepped up today, had great stuff, throwing that comeback sinker all day, used his curveball, few change-ups, was around the strike zone, did not give them many pitches to hit. And then he turned it over to that outstanding bullpen, and they did the rest. And he's our Chevrolet player of the game is the starter, Tim Hudson.
So Tim Hudson picks up his 16th win of the year. The Phillies lose it 2-1. It's the 27th time this year the Phillies have scored 1 run or none in a ball game.